Hi. So, what are the top three things I have learned from Alex Hormozi? Yeah, so I've been reading his books, obviously, because I've got a group and I feel like I'm in his world just by being on school. And so I've been reading his books, and there is like literally a whole world of information in both of his books. They need studying, they're not just read and go, they need studying. But these are the top three things that I think I've taken away from them that I can implement and start building my business really rapidly. Number one is to have an offer that people feel stupid saying no to. It sounds really simple, but actually, often we create offers that we think are a really good idea, but people don't necessarily think are so great. And we don't really give the value that people necessarily want. So this is about loading the value, front loading it, giving people what they really want, and giving it so it's a no-brainer. They have to say yes, because why would they say no? And when you think about that, that then comes from the point of service. So you're not thinking about, oh, how much money can I make out of this person? You're thinking, what can I produce that is going to serve my clients, serve my audience, and give them the best possible outcome for what they're paying for? So they want to work with you because you're delivering more than they're expecting. And so it feels really right and it feels really natural. So this is about being prepared to give, 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 give. That's how you build a business, how you make money is by giving and wanting your clients to succeed and being there as the person that is going to deliver what they need to succeed and what they want in their lives. So anyway, that's the number one, is making an offer that people feel stupid saying no to. And the second one is it's quite a simple one, really, and it's one that we all really know, but no one really talks about. If you want more sales, you need to talk to more people, and to get to more people, you need to do more. So let's suppose you convert. Let's say, just pick a number, 10%. You convert 10% of your customers into paying clients. You probably do more than that, but let's just say 10% of your leads go into paying customers, people that you are connecting with on a regular basis. So if you connect with 100 people, that means that 10 of those are going to become clients of yours and pay you. So if you want 100 clients, you need to speak to 1,000 people. And it's basically as simple as that. So you just have to scale. So the more people you want, the more sales you want to make, the more money you want to make, the more people you want to connect with. So the more you want to do to bring those leads into your world. It's really that simple. But so many of us overcomplicate business. We think there must be some magic secret to generating leads, that somehow if we just do two or three magic things, the leads are just going to come to us. Well, it's total nonsense. And it's always been nonsense in business. I've been in business for 16 years and I have never been able to generate leads without doing work, without either paying for adverts or getting out there and making phone calls, working for things. When we had a web design business, we would pay for leads. So we could go into a company and we could pay for leads and do it that way. And that's another way that you can do it. But ultimately, it all comes down to the same thing. The more eyes you get on you and on your work, the more clients you're likely to bring in. And when I talk to people about visibility, about going out on Facebook, they're like, I put a post out a week. It's like, who's going to see you? Like, seriously, who is going to see you? I don't do enough as I really want to. And reading this book, I'm going to be doing more posts everywhere, just to build things up so that we can see what works. Because the more you do, the more you can see what works, the more you track it, the more you can focus on what brings you in the most number of clients, and just keep working on that and keep pumping through it. So that's number two. The more sales you want to get, the more leads you need, the more work you need to do to get those leads. Simple as that. And the third one is one I actually teach a lot of people myself anyway, but I wanted to share it with you because he says it, I agree with it, it's totally right. You will suck until you don't. And when I talk about this, it's like when I talk to people about going live on Facebook, oh man, I was so bad at going live when I first started it. Well, I think I was really bad. Other people didn't. I thought I was horrendous. I've got better now, and I still think there's a long way to go to improve, and I can get better and better and better. But I feel confident enough to do it without the stress and the aggro and like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Oh, I'll just do it. And remembering that things are scary until you do them, until you've done them 100 times, until you've done them 30, 300 times. When you've done them a million times, you do it with your eyes closed. Well, I wouldn't advise going live with your eyes closed because you'd look a bit weird, but you know what I mean. Um, And it's just about that. It's about actually putting yourself out there, having the guts to do it, and just jumping in and doing it. And we are so scared, and especially women who are in, and men as well who are in this world, but particularly women who are in the spiritual and wellness realm. We're so keen to help other people that we forget that actually we need to start doing the stuff now. And we think we have to know all the answers. We think we have to be the absolute best at everything. I'm not the best at everything. This is just what I'm learning from Alex Hormozi. Some of this stuff I know from things that I've done in my life and my business, and it's great to have these reminders and put them in place, and put it in a way that, yeah, you could think, oh, okay, right, yeah, I get that. Um, but the only way you actually learn how to do anything is to do it. Yeah, it's the same when you're at school. You might go and, okay, I'm going to use maths here because I did maths at university, and so people are going to think, oh, geek. But anyway, um, with any mathematical problem, you can have all the theory in the world that your teachers and your lecturers throw at you, but until you actually sit down and do the problem for yourself, you work through it and you understand the workings of something, you don't know how to do it. And so it's the same with everything in life. Until you actually sell something, you don't know how to do it. And when I was doing selling websites, website business, and I was learning how to sell kind of on the job, I learned from my mum, who is a really experienced saleswoman, and she's worked for years in multi-level marketing. She was one of the highest ones in one of the big companies in the UK for a long time. Um, but I didn't have any sales experience when I started selling websites. And I was pretty rubbish at first, until I learned to get better. Um, and then it became it became a strategic thing, because I used to do, my brother was the technical person, and I used to do sales meetings with him, and he wasn't best at selling, and he would often scupper. So where I could maybe get a sale in an hour, we might have to spend 2.5 hours with him, and not necessarily get the sale, because he liked to talk a lot. Um, so, but learning how to manage that. So that was something that I had to learn as well. So it's a new skill. He's going to hate me for telling that story, but that's a fact. Um, and it's all about how you actually learn these things over time. And yeah, I got better, and I went from struggling to sell a website to being able to sell the equivalent of $45,000 worth of websites a month. It's a reasonable amount. It wasn't earth-shatteringly huge, but I was only working part-time, and it was the way my job was at the time, maybe my life was at that time. But I'm a lot better at selling, or I was a lot better at selling then than I was when I started. And in my business now, I'm one of the things I'm finding as an interesting one for you about sales, because I learned all these sales skills and I know them. But when I'm selling in this business, and it's a new business, and I feel like I'm selling myself, I've had to reset all of my knowledge and kind of come to the point where it's like, well, actually, I can sell myself in the same way as I used to sell websites, and I used to sell this service, and I've sold this service, because it's okay to do that. And now I'm kind of understanding that I'm getting more into the rhythm of selling, and because I'm creating offers that, and this is something that I've had to work on. So it ties back into the first one. When I was making offers that I wasn't 100% behind, I was struggling to sell them. And so now I'm creating an offer that actually I think my offer that I have now is a no-brainer. I'd like if I'd had that when I was doing stuff, when I was like yoga teacher and stuff, I would have absolutely jumped into it. It's a complete no-brainer. So when I'm selling it, I'm very confident selling it because I believe in it. And that's something else that my mum taught me about selling. Don't sell something that you don't believe in yourself. And when I worked in banking, I used to work with a guy who told into the UK, and he was absolutely the best salesman in the bank in what we did. Um, and he bought every single product that he sold, he bought some and put it in his own portfolio. And none of the other bankers did that. And I thought, this guy, the reason he sells, and I sussed it right back then, the reason he sells more than anybody else is because he genuinely believes in what he is selling. And so that's when it comes down to, if you are struggling to sell your coaching, your services, what you're doing, actually, fundamentally, it will come down to you not believing in what you're selling. So you don't really believe it. You can't sell something you don't really 100% believe in, because when you believe in it, the passion comes through, the enthusiasm comes through, and you can just like talk to people about it. And when they come up with objections, you've got the answer there straight away, because you know why it's good for them. You know what they're going to get out of it, and you don't have any fear of explaining that to somebody and telling them, actually, this is this, and this is why you're going to get this, and this is why you're going to get that result, and this is what you need to put into it, and this is what I need to put into it, and this is how it's going to work. And if you do that, you will get this result. So when you come down to that and you think of it in that way, sales, or I've gone on to this one a bit more. I've gone on to sales. I wasn't talking about sales, but sorry, anyway, when it comes down to that, sales is literally just a belief system. So that was all going back round to number 3, which is you will suck until you don't. And that's his words, not mine, because I would never use the word suck generally in my language, because I'm British and we don't use the word suck. But anyway, I'm paraphrasing from Alex Hormozi. So yeah, just do it, to coin another phrase from somebody else very famous who I'm not going to mention. But it does actually come down to it. Do it. So the three things, just to recap, in case you've forgotten my ramblings, forgotten what I actually said. Number 1, create an offer people feel stupid saying no to. And when you're doing that, you'll know that it's an offer people feel stupid saying no to, because you'll think, I would buy this. If you look at your offer and think, I would buy it, I would buy this, it's usually quite good. It pretty much comes down to that. 2, if you want more sales, speak to more people. Simple as that. And number 3, you will suck until you don't. On that one about sales, I just want to go back, recap. If you're getting bored of me, fine. If you like what I'm saying, hit the sort of like and subscribe button. Just do me a favour of that one, please. But anyway, on the sales one, my mum told me a story, very inappropriate story. I'm going to try and tone it down so it's not quite so crude as she told me. But if you are a man and you go into a bar and you walk around to the bar, club, wherever it is you're going, and you go up to every single woman that you meet, you introduce yourself, and you ask them if they would like to go home with you, the odds are, if you speak to enough women in enough clubs on one night, one of them will agree to go home with you. Right? Quite a silly example, but it's the same thing in sales. If you speak to enough people and you tell enough people about what you're doing and you talk to enough people about it, odds are one of them's going to say yes. It is as simple as that. It is a numbers game. It's getting yourself out there. It's a doing it. That's my opinion anyway. And you don't have to take my opinion. It's just from experience. And the better you get at selling and selling, and you've got that belief behind you, the more people will say yes to your selling, because you're selling something you genuinely believe in, and you know how to convey that to other people. And that goes back to the suck until you don't, because it's practice. And you might do the first 100 sales calls and get nothing out of it, and you think this is just not going to work. But if you go back and think of all the things you've learned in those 100 calls, the 101st one might be your first sale, and you'll get it because of all the stuff you've learned because you did 100 calls before. So yeah, it is about getting out there and doing it. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Make an offer people can't say no to. More sales, more people equals more sales, and you suck until you don't. All right, I'll see you again soon. Remember, like and subscribe. Oh, and yeah, see, I always forget this on my videos, right? Because I'm talking. If you fancy getting a bit more visible, I'll put details below of a visibility challenge. Come and join me, and I'll see you soon.